You're so mature for your age. Sounds like a compliment, right? But what if I told you that phrase is often a disguised red flag, a subtle psychological play that shifts power, masks condescension, and places invisible expectations on younger women? Today, we're diving into 4 things you should never say to a younger woman, and why they carry more weight than you might think. Whether you're a friend, a mentor, or just someone trying to give advice, this video will challenge what you think is harmless and show you the deep-rooted social conditioning behind each phrase. And trust me, you've either heard these, said these, or been hurt by these. Ready to unravel what's really going on beneath the surface? Let's start with the first one. Phrase number 1. You're so mature for your age. At face value, it feels flattering, but let's break it down. This phrase subtly suggests that a young woman is somehow an exception to her age group, implying that most young women are irrational, emotional, or immature. It creates a false hierarchy. You're not like those girls. It divides, isolates, and puts pressure on her to keep being the mature one. That's not a compliment. That's a performance expectation. Psychologically, it taps into conditional validation. You're valuable because you're not like the others. And once she internalizes that, she'll do everything she can to maintain that approval, often at the cost of authenticity. Phrase number 2. You'll understand when you're older. On the surface, it sounds like wisdom from someone who's been around the block. But this phrase is a conversation killer, and worse, a power move wrapped in condescension. It subtly invalidates the younger woman's current experiences, feelings, and insights, reducing them to mere, youthful ignorance. It sends one clear message. Right now, your thoughts don't matter. Come back when you've earned the right to speak. Here's what's happening underneath. This phrase taps into age-based gaslighting. It suggests that if a younger woman is confused or upset, it's not because the situation is wrong or unfair. It's because she's not old enough to get it yet. But the truth? Age doesn't guarantee wisdom. And youth doesn't disqualify it. This phrase can stop a young woman from trusting her intuition, questioning unfairness, or even speaking up. It's not a bridge to wisdom. It's a wall of dismissal. And yet, how often is it said in relationships, workplaces, or even families? Comment below if you've ever been hit with this line and how it made you feel. Now, let's move into one that seems polite, but is loaded with social conditioning. Phrase number 3. You're too pretty to be struggling. This one sounds like praise, until you realize how deeply it minimizes someone's pain. At first glance, it seems sweet, supportive even. But beneath the surface, it's actually deeply dismissive. Here's what it really says. Your beauty should protect you from real-life problems. Attractive people don't suffer. Your value is your appearance, so what are you complaining about? This phrase perpetuates a dangerous psychological trap called the beauty bias, the belief that if someone looks good on the outside, their life must be good on the inside. But this is not just inaccurate, it's harmful. It tells young women that their looks are their armor, and if they're struggling, they're either being dramatic or they've somehow failed despite being blessed. Emotionally, it leads to shame and silence. Instead of asking for help, she'll question whether she deserves it. This phrase erases complexity. It reduces her entire identity to a face and assumes that face should guarantee happiness. Let's talk about this one in the comments. Have you ever been told this, or maybe even said it, thinking it was kind? Because the next phrase? It's the most manipulative of them all. Phrase number 4. You should take this as a compliment. This one usually follows an inappropriate remark, often about appearance, voice, body, or behavior. And when a younger woman reacts with discomfort, silence, or a clear boundary, suddenly she's the problem. Because now she's too sensitive, too uptight, or just can't take a compliment. But let's call it what it is. Emotional manipulation dressed up as flattery. This phrase forces young women into a corner. It tells them, don't trust your instincts. If it made you uncomfortable, ignore it, because I meant well. Psychologically, this is textbook gaslighting. It makes her question whether her reaction was valid, even when her gut knew the truth. And that moment, That pause where she reevaluates herself instead of calling out bad behavior? That's exactly the point. Over time, this kind of conditioning silences intuition. It trains women, especially young ones, to accept discomfort as a price for approval. And that is not a compliment. Here's the truth. Words don't just land, they shape. They mold how someone sees themselves and what they believe they're worth. So, the next time you speak to a younger woman, ask yourself, am I speaking to her potential or projecting my power? Because what sounds harmless to you might just be the thing that keeps her silent.